so we're going to cover up the screen because I don't need to get distracted by looking at that. And now we're back on. So let's do an update. I stopped doing updates every day because the last two I found that I didn't really have a lot to say. I was really busy going on with like the outside world, and anything I had to say was just going to be sort of like self-reflective and really uninteresting for the world. But what I want to do is I want to express that, not express. Again, going into this is live and improvisation, so I don't always go in fully prepared. My name is Seven Knowles, and I am going through a personal challenge of trying to put self-discipline back into my life, because I've gone through a couple of years where I lacked it completely. And in doing that, I'm changing little things about my own behavior, my own choices and things. And this will lead up to me quitting smoking at a certain point. And it all begins with 30 days, no alcohol, no drugs, making some healthy food choices. Excuse me. Is it going? Oh. So, making some healthy choices for food, getting regular sleep, daily meditation, and going back to working out all the time again. And this is because before 2016, I was doing all of these things and I had a fair amount of self-discipline. And so I'm trying to work on that. Now, the thing is that I don't want to be dogmatic. I don't want to pretend that everything's fine and wonderful and it's all good, when it's not. It's life, it's real, it's not a projected, idealized self. And I did really, really, really good. I made it up to the 14th day. 14 days, that's 2 weeks, where it was doing exactly what I said I was doing. And then life took over. And I run a bar and have a lot of projects going on at the same time. And there was a very, very stressful weekend this last weekend. I do a party on Fridays at another place. And then on Saturday, I had to prepare for a really, really big party that happens once a month here. And there was a lot of challenges involved in making that party that had to be worked through. And at a certain point on Saturday evening, somebody who was behind the bar with me came to me with a shot, and I made the shots myself. I pre-mixed them. I know it was pretty weak, and I chose in that moment to take it. And then I had 2 more of the same shots throughout the night. I think, 2 more. And then the night ended, and I was just so beat up because it was probably one of the biggest nights that we'd had in the bar. And so much stress and so much people and so much go that I didn't really pace myself. I didn't put myself in the right tempo, and I worked myself to a point where I just wanted to come down and relax. So what do? I had 2 glasses of wine, and they got me drunk pretty quickly, by the way. Because that tolerance just goes, woo. But, I want to be honest about that. And, it's not about reaching the end goal so much as it is kind of the journey. I hate being so cliche, but it is about the journey. So, self-honesty is very important to putting in self-discipline. I can't lie to myself. I can't lie to the world, because then you're building something off of a rocky, not a very good foundation. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to beat myself up about that. it is what it is. I did it, and I can admit it, and there you go. The next day, Sunday, got through the night. It was not as stressy as Saturday night, but there were some other things that were really challenging. And at the very end of the night, I again had 2 glasses of wine, and then I started, and I was like having them. The first glass of wine, I felt a little bit of shame about, because I was like, you could just not have it. And but then I had it, and I wanted a second one, and I thought, you're already here, you may as well just deal with it, and wake up tomorrow and see what you're going to do. I mean, is this project dead? Is it broken? Is it over? Or is this part of the process? I didn't think about it like that at the time, but I was in that area of thought, and I cut it off after the second glass of wine and went to bed. It was, there you go. That was already a show of self-discipline. So then yesterday I got up and I decided, no, you know what? We're not going to just break this project. You're going to get back up, dust yourself off, get back on the horse, and start over again. So now I'm at day 2. And, I find that this choice is really super, super challenging, in that I own and operate a bar. Alcohol is a huge part of that. And I did some really great things in those first 2 weeks. Like, I was creating new non-alcoholic cocktails. I was very systematic about going into meditation, and I'm making sure that I do all the things that I said I was going to do. But it's like I'm doing this by myself. I'm doing this with no help. I'm not having anybody do it with me. I'm not having anybody to talk to about it, because I know that this is really going to be just my journey, and I don't have time for things like going to AA meetings and all that. And my days, from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, just work, and taking some time off. I feel like, okay, it is what it is. So, but we're back on it, and we're going to keep doing this. And it doesn't matter how many times I kind of waver off the path. I'm going to, the important part is that I'm doing what I'm doing now, which is getting back onto it. Some things are changing in my personal life, like my living situation is changing for the better, and I've got a lot of projects coming up. So these things are going to keep me motivated. They're going to keep me kind of grounded and stabilized, and I'm looking forward to being able to create a little structure for myself within my own new home, and kind of follow that a little bit better, and hopefully it has an effect. I'm very, very proud, by the way, and grateful for the fact that I was able to make 2 weeks. That's not light, considering the lifestyle that I lead. That's something to be proud of. And I think anybody out there who's trying the same thing needs to put that into themselves as well. We don't need to shame ourselves. We don't need to become dogmatic. At a certain point, I feel like I made the choice, I knew what I was doing, and it didn't have a negative consequence on me. I didn't become like some sort of massive mess or something. I didn't go running off into the club and taking lots of drugs or something. I kept it in a moderate place, and that's okay. So I'm not really feeling bad about that either. And it's complete and total abstinence will never happen for the rest of my life. I will always go back and make choices depending on the situation and my mood. So this was just life. But it doesn't mean that we're done, and it doesn't mean that the project's broken or anything. It just means that this is a chance to learn from it. And we need to be kinder to ourselves, because I'm seeing a lot of people around me. One thing that's actually been prevalent is my ability to observe the people around me and situations around me, where a lot of people, it seems, are guided by fear. They're guided by the fear of failure, or the fear of success, or the fear of rejection, or the fear of whatever it is. And I don't really have that. I've had it in the past, but I think my previous project, the Enter the Panopticon, sort of destroyed that, because I was able to allow myself to become a failure, to become embarrassing, to become all these things that I didn't want to be, even though I thought I was doing something else. And able to confront that and look at that material and see, like, oh wow, God, that's silly and embarrassing, and I'm making a fool of myself. And now I just feel like, okay, it's not about feeling shame or feeling failure. It's about always trying to fail better. I'm laughing at my own joke. That's sad. But my feelings at this point are that we're just going to continue and move forward and hopefully see where this goes. So after here, I'm going to go and do a short meditation, and then I'm going to walk the dog, and I'm going to get on with my day just like everything else. And I'm going to actually say that whatever happens, happens. And hopefully it's not about jumping to the opposite side of this spectrum, but finding a middle ground. And as this project is developing, I hope to eventually start getting things to the place where I need them to be. And yeah, there you go. So nothing more to say right now, and I hope you all have a lovely day. Bye-bye.